All right, guys, welcome to the Hoop Space. Today, I have an NBA trade deadline video for y'all. We're about a week out from the deadline. It is currently January 30th. And so far, we haven't had much activity. 2026 trade deadline, we have had one trade so far, I believe this entire season, with that Trae Young trade. Going back to 24 and 25, since this new CBA was introduced, 27 trades in 2024, 25 in 2025. 80% of those deals were done in the week leading up to the deadline. So after I post this video, we should see a lot more activity here. Likely to see an influx of trades as the week progresses. A couple high-level things here. Speaking of that Trae Young trade, I think it's kind of set now that Ja and AD, their market is essentially vanished. I don't think we're going to see any moves for those guys at the deadline. And then also the big name being discussed all over ESPN, these big news outlets, is Giannis. I'm not expecting to see a Giannis trade either. I just don't think it's in the Bucks' best interest to do so in the next week, kind of on short notice, as Giannis and his team let them know last week that he is looking to move on. It's a little short notice. I don't think they're going to get anything that they're interested in doing here at the deadline. Just they don't have that leverage. Really do think the market's probably pretty dry here. I'm not sure that Atlanta's willing to give up that pick swap, New Orleans pick swap here. I think if that was the case, I think Giannis would be in Atlanta right now. Yeah, 2026, not much has gone on so far. Last year, at the deadline, we saw big names like Jimmy, De'Aaron Fox on the move. Those are some of the big contract guys. Then, of course, the Luka Doncic trade. Probably not expecting to see anything at that level. That's a heartbreaker as a Dallas Mavericks fan. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the video. All right, so for this first trade here, we have Miles Turner going to the Hornets, Miles Bridges going to the Bucks. No picks involved here. The money matches. Turner's got 3 years left on his deal. Miles Bridges got 1 year after this year. So for the Bucks, it kind of gives them a way to get off some of this money here. For the Hornets, you're trading offense for defense here. So Milwaukee trading defense for offense. Both teams are betting on their timelines being ready now. The Hornets angle, Miles Turner gives Charlotte something they've desperately lacked, and that's real rim protection with spacing. Turner's shooting 37% from three this year. He's an elite shot blocker. He's averaging 17 points per game. This keeps the lane open for LaMelo to kind of drive and kick there to guys like Knipple, Brandon Miller. I mean, they can all do this. Charlotte has been near the bottom of the league recently, defending the rim. Turner immediately changes that. It immediately changes how teams attack the Hornets, and then immediately changes how the Hornets can attack teams. This is Charlotte saying that they want structure and defensive identity around their young core. So I really don't hate this move for the Hornets. For the Bucks, this is about offense. If you look at those on-off numbers with Giannis, when Giannis is off the floor, the offense is absolutely down the drain. There's nothing there. They can't score without Giannis on the floor. Miles Bridges gives them a legit third scorer. Miles Bridges gives him a legit second scorer next to Giannis. 20-point-a-game guy who can play on or off the ball, attack closeouts, punish switches. The Bucks have the defensive anchor in Giannis. What they need is someone who could score when Giannis is off the floor, and then just be a secondary guy next to Giannis when Giannis is on the floor. Money-wise, this is a move for the Bucks to kind of say, hey, this is our last chance. We don't really love those offers that are on the table for Giannis. Let's go get a guy that can probably complement him better, and then also you're not tied up to Miles Turner for 3 more years. You move off Giannis in the summer. You can keep Bridges there. You can move off Bridges as well. So yeah, this is really a move that I don't necessarily expect to happen, but in fact, I don't expect this to happen at all. I don't really know. I don't really know who. I don't really know that Milwaukee is interested in doing a deal like this. I think the Hornets, it's a home run. I don't think you say no if this is slid across the table for Charlotte. All right, so second trade. All right, second trade here. We have Klay Thompson going to the Clippers. We have Bogdan Bogdanovic going back to the Mavericks. This is a money move for Dallas and a bet on this current roster for the Clippers. The Dallas Mavericks angle for Dallas, this is a money and roster management move. So Bogdan Bogdanovic has a team option after this year. Mavs can use this to get off of that $17 million next year and get under the second apron. Something they desperately need to do here, as you got guys like Moussa Cisse, Ryan Nembhard, who you would like to convert into full-time roster spots. They're currently on 2-way deals. You're going to need to move some money around. You're going to need to make some roster changes in general to get those guys on the team. Currently, Dallas is set to have an expected salary of $217 million going into next year. To get you under $200 million, you can move off Klay Thompson. While it's easy to do so, I believe this is the easiest it probably will get. He's playing really well right now, but he's old. So you get off a year early for Klay Thompson. For Klay Thompson, he gets to go to this Clippers team who could have a chance, and then he gets to go back to California here. So for the Clippers, this is just a bet on championship DNA. Klay Thompson brings a lot of gravity still. He's one of the top 3 best shooters of all time. I'm putting him at 2. But, I think consensus is he's a top 3 guy at this point. He brings gravity to that offense that they just don't have. They don't have that shooting. Bogdan Bogdanovic is not that guy anymore. Defenses still need to react to him. If healthy, Klay gives LA elite off-ball movement and spacing next to Harden, Kawhi, and Zubats. The kind of player who doesn't really need the touches to impact the game in terms of on-ball. He does need the touches to impact the game. He's got to get those shots up. But with a guy like Harden and Zubats, that pick and roll game last year, you saw Norman Powell benefit a lot off of that action for the Clippers. And it was very clear from the start of this season that the Clippers are missing Norman Powell. So this kind of gives them that shooter to space the floor a little bit more, let Kawhi work at the elbow like he just does so well. And I mean, he's playing at such a high level right now that I do think that you add Klay Thompson here, you're not giving up anything. It can't hurt. We'll see what Ballmer does here at the deadline. So really, this is just a small move that I think works for both teams. I'd love to see this done. I think the Clippers would be a lot of fun to watch with Klay Thompson. And then Bogdan Bogdanovic to Dallas, it just gives them a little bit more flexibility financially. So, all right, as we get into trade number 3 here, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder getting Trey Murphy. Pelicans getting Alex Caruso and 3 firsts. So this is the Pelicans saying, hey, we want flexibility here as we look to build around Derek Queen, Jeremiah Fears, some of these young guys. And then for the Thunder, it's pretty obvious. You're getting a guy who is an elite shooter, can put the ball on the floor, take it inside, and plays great defense. I mean, this guy is a can't miss trade asset right now, I believe. And the Pelicans, I think, should sell high. I think that's just kind of the way the league is right now. It's like, you have a guy like this and you're not competing, go get those assets, because you're seeing Anthony Davis, Ja, Trae Young, these guys who don't have markets. You can't even get a first-round pick for Anthony Davis right now. So you didn't get a first-round pick for Trae Young, but you could potentially get 4 for Trey Murphy. I don't see why you don't go make that trade if you're the Pelicans. You're not competing anytime soon. For the Thunder, this is just an asset consolidation type move. Trey Murphy is exactly what contenders want to pay for. He's a big wing who could shoot at a high volume, defend multiple positions, thrive without dominating the ball, fits perfectly next to Shane Jalen Williams. He's spacing the floor, attacking closeouts. Play high leverage minutes in the playoffs. I trust this guy. I really do. So 3 first-round picks that the Thunder don't really even have a spot for currently on this roster. I mean, turn those into Trey Murphy. I don't see why you don't do that if you're Sam Presti. Then again, I'm not Sam Presti. Sam Presti seems to just want to continue to play the long game here, keep this chemistry and roster together. So we'll see. I don't expect the Thunder to make a move here. But if there was a move that I could see the Thunder making, I think this is it. It makes perfect sense. You're not shaking too much up. The only real problem here is the money. But you're really getting a steal here. And you're getting off Caruso, who's got 3 years, including this one. I believe they're aligned in that sense. So really not a huge shift in terms of the financial impact. And then you could turn Trey Murphy into something else later on if you're the Thunder. I don't expect him to lose a ton of value over time. So I think this gives them a real chance to just lock in that repeat. If they had Trey Murphy, I don't see a team contending against them. So we'll see. All right, so here we have the Chicago Bulls getting Mike Conley on an expiring deal at $10 million. Rob Dillingham, young prospect, and a 2026 first-round pick for the Minnesota Timberwolves, which all indications are that that's not going to be super desirable, but you never know with this draft class. It looks like there's some depth there. So you're getting rid of Kobe White, who really you don't need him. You just signed Josh Giddey. You have Ayo Dosunmu, great young player, and then you're getting back Dillingham, who it's like Kobe White's proven he can do it, and to make him sit on the bench, I don't think is gonna benefit the Bulls. So you get a first-round pick, you get a young guy in Rob Dillingham, who could be something still. Chris Finch is not a fan, but which I don't know that I would want to trade for Rob Dillingham if Minnesota's not a fan of him. It could just be a Chris Finch thing, though, and maybe if you're the Bulls, Billy Donovan, you can kind of turn him into something. So this is just a fork-in-the-road deal for Minnesota. It's like, we got to do something here. We've been to the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years, and we need a point guard. If we get a point guard, probably have a chance here. You never know with the Nuggets and their health. OKC, like, who knows? Who knows? I think that if you are Minnesota, it's like, get an offensive punch here. next to Anthony Edwards. You still have Gobert. You still have Julius Randle. Like, you still have DiVincenzo. I mean, this is a great roster. If you could add Kobe White here, Mike Conley and Dillingham really aren't contributing to anything that they're doing right now. So I love this move for Minnesota. And for the Bulls, I mean, you don't really have much leverage here. You've shown that you are dedicated to giving Josh Giddey those minutes at point guard, and I think Kobe White's too good to be coming off the bench, and I think he knows that as well. We'll see what the Wolves end up doing here. I would love to see them go out and get a big point guard. This is my favorite deal for them. We'll see. All right, here we have Trey Murphy headed to Detroit, and we have Tobias Harris along with 2 Detroit first and 3 second-round picks headed back to New Orleans. Once again, this is a Pelicans move in which you're trying to sell high on a guy who probably isn't going to take you to the NBA championship. We're gonna go ahead and say he will not take them to an NBA championship this year. You really do want to get the ball in the hands of Fears, Queen, some of these young guys here. So you gather the assets, get some expiring money with Tobias Harris. And yeah, I think this move is good for the Pelicans as well. Looking at this from the Pistons perspective, I really do think that you're expecting to be back at the top of the East for the next 3 to 4 years, as long as you have Cade Cunningham. You saw it with the team like the Pacers last year, winning the East. It's like, this thing's wide open. So why not go add a guy who can spread the floor, could be huge in terms of just additional scoring alongside Cade. I think he's a great fit. You think of Cade, Duren, and Trey Murphy on the floor at the same time. I don't want to play against those 3 guys if I'm another team. I think they have a real chance to win the East with this trade. I really do think that Trey Murphy could flip things in terms of title contenders here if the right team goes and gets him. So for the Pistons, I don't think this is, or I do think that this is a no-brainer. Go get this guy. Sure, you're giving up some draft capital, but you're getting rid of Tobias Harris, who I think all indications are that he has been great for them in that locker room. But I think he's done his duty. It's time to bring Trey Murphy in and see if we can't make a run here at the NBA Finals. So I like this trade for the Pistons, and if you're the Pelicans, once again, I think just sell high while you can. All right, guys, so here we have the Cleveland Cavaliers receiving TJ McConnell and Benedict Mathurin. Pacers receiving Jarrett Allen. I think I would throw in I don't have it on the graphic up here, but I think Cleveland would probably have to get a first-round pick in this trade to be able to feel comfortable parting ways with Jarrett Allen, with everything that he's provided to them over the last few years. But this is just about for the Pacers making a move to go get that center that they have gone out there and said they're looking for. They've been tied to guys like Gafford, Nick Claxton, Jarrett Allen's another one. And this is a depth and an asset play here for Cleveland. And like I said, I'm throwing in a first-round pick there if I'm the Pacers to go get Jarrett Allen. I don't think I'm giving up that 2026 first-round pick. I'm certain that I'm not giving up that 2026 first-round pick. Who knows where that's going to land? It's going to be a lottery pick and probably a pretty good one at that. But for Cleveland, it's like maybe we need to change something up here. Move off Jarrett Allen, play Mobley at the 5. I have another trade later in this video that I would love to see Cleveland do in conjunction with this trade. And you'll see why later on here. But TJ McConnell, we just saw what he can do in the playoffs in the East, in the NBA Finals against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, this guy can play. And it may not be flashy. It may not be the most exciting, but he can put the ball in the hoop. He can create for you, and he can be frisky on defense. So I like this. The only thing that kind of scares me is putting him on the floor next to Donovan Mitchell. It's not ideal. Probably going to be something where he needs to come off the bench there. Mathurin also looked great for the Pacers last year. I think that he would be someone that could thrive there in Cleveland if he's given the opportunity. Could run him at the 2, Donovan Mitchell at the 1, DeAndre Hunter at the 3. I don't hate it if I'm Cleveland. For the Pacers here, this is just about kind of building up that defensive structure, selling a guy in Mathurin who is doing a lot for his trade value over the last year or so. I mean, he's inconsistent, but you've seen him blow up for 30 in a playoff game. This guy can play as well. So if I'm Cleveland, I love this. If I'm the Pacers, puts the ball in Tyrese's hands more, Nimhard's hands more, which is ultimately what I want to do if I'm in that Pacers front office. And then Rick Carlisle, I think a guy he would love to have there is Jared Allen, a guy who plays hard, get you those boards, protect the rim. Do a lot of what Miles Turner could do last year, just with a little bit less shooting. But if we're being honest, Miles Turner was not providing much for them on the offensive side of the ball in the NBA Finals, and they still almost won it. So I like this move for the Pacers for a number of reasons, and then for Cleveland as well. So as we get into this next trade here, think about what this would look like alongside that. Here we have Darius Garland headed to Brooklyn in exchange for Michael Porter Jr., 2 2027 first-round picks, those being Houston and New York. This is a pretty clean talent for fit trade if you do that last trade. Cleveland's betting on size, shooting, and flexibility here. So that starting 5 after these 2 trades would be most likely Donovan Mitchell, Mathurin, Hunter, Michael Porter Jr., and then at the 5 playing Mobley. So you can really stretch the floor here. You're adding Michael Porter Jr., who I don't love that the Nuggets were so comfortable moving off of him. You never know with Brooklyn what those guys are really capable of when you put them into a system where they're asked to do something they may not want to do. Who knows for Michael Porter Jr. where his head's at right now. But Darius Garland for the Nets gives them a real offensive engine at the point guard position who they can go build around. And they have a ton of length there. I'm sure you've seen those numbers defensively. Closer to a quarter of the way through the season, they were just looking great. They were flying around, staying in games with teams that they shouldn't have been in games with, just really because of the way they played. A lot of the reason was Michael Porter Jr. as well and his shooting. But you add Darius Garland, this is a bet for sure. But he just feels like this is a guy that Brooklyn's been looking for a while. For Cleveland, Garland's had 2 injuries that are sidelining him here. When he has been on the floor, it hasn't been crazy impactful. The playoffs last year, he was hurting them on the defensive side of the ball. I think that Michael Porter Jr. can at least hold his own on the defensive side of the ball with his length. If he's giving effort, I'm not worried about it. Darius Garland, it doesn't really matter if he's given effort or not. There's 90% of the league's gonna be able to get a bucket on him when they want to. So for Cleveland here, this is just kind of shaking things up. I think this is something that it's like, this could really open things up for Donovan Mitchell, give him a little help scoring the ball, giving him a shooter in Michael Porter Jr. Something they've been lacking is that shooting. And Mobley doesn't have to hit threes to open the floor in this case. Like, you can still have him out there, You can still stretch the floor, but you're not relying on him to shoot 40% from the three to create space, because you have Michael Porter Jr. out there as well. It just opens up so much for Donovan Mitchell, for Mobley, for all these guys. So I really like this deal for the Cavs. I like it for the Nets too. I don't know how much more you're going to get for Michael Porter Jr. Maybe some picks, but a lot of the teams that are going to trade picks for Michael Porter Jr. are not going to be favorable picks for the most part. So you get a guy like Garland. Sure, he's been injured. It's been rough year for Darius Garland, but bet on that upside there. And you have a star player in Brooklyn. All right, final trade here. Somewhat of a pipe dream. As a Dallas Mavericks fan, I had to put one of these in here. Anthony Davis, Caleb Martin, and Dante Exum heading to Charlotte for LaMelo Ball and Colin Sexton. This move, I don't think would happen this week at this deadline. Maybe this summer, something like this could come about. We'll see what the NBA draft looks like, and I think we will kind of have a better idea for where the Hornets are looking to move in over the next few years, and what the Mavericks are looking to do over the next few years. So I really do get excited thinking about LaMelo Ball being in Dallas, having a change of scenery, playing alongside Cooper Flagg, playing alongside PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively. Some of these guys you would expect the Mavericks will sell on here in the next year as they kind of try to retool around Cooper Flagg and kind of align the timeline a little bit better. LaMelo Ball is just kind of a shot in the dark here. You get a fun point guard to play behind Kyrie or alongside Kyrie. Two ball handlers who are absolutely lethal in the pick and roll, jump shooting, you name it. I think this would be a lot of fun for the Mavericks. But for the Hornets, you're getting off LaMelo Ball, that big contract, and you're just kind of taking a flyer on Anthony Davis. Because if Anthony Davis is healthy, I really like what he could add to the Charlotte Hornets team here. Length, rim protection, just around the rim. I really think that he could make a huge impact for them. Like guys like Ryan Kalkbrenner and Diabate are making a big difference right now. So I can't imagine what Anthony Davis would look like out there with Con Knipple, with Brandon Miller, some of those other guys. To some degree, this is a reach. The Mavericks really want to go attach themselves to LaMelo Ball for the next 3 years with Cooper Flagg. I'm not quite sure that they do, but it would be a fun experiment, that's for sure. And really, it's like, what else can you get for Anthony Davis right now? I don't know that you're going to get any more value. I like buying low on these guys, and I think, let's just use our brains here. LaMelo Ball is a 6'7" guard who can pass, who can shoot. Really, it's the buy-in that you're worried about. And with Jason Kidd, you've seen him get guys to buy in over the years. Maybe you could do it with LaMelo. Thank you all for watching today's video. I'm going to be putting out some more stuff, a couple other ideas that I'm pretty pumped about. So anyways, thank you all for watching the videos today. Like the video, that'll help me a lot. Subscribe, that will also help me a lot. Share this video with any of your friends. You can make fun of the fact that I'm making YouTube videos now if you know me. Just make sure you send that link. All right, guys. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one.